Diamonds in the Rough TV. It's your girl Gigi, and I'm back with episode 13. And as promised, I told you all in the last episode, I wanted to start bringing guests on the show with us because there are some incredible young people that are doing amazing things. And I had to bring my girl Kayla Life on because she is thebomb.com. You guys will find out today, but I actually had the pleasure of meeting her at a networking group called Black Achievers, which I'm actually a host of, and we do networking events in different cities all over the US. And so I met her at the Atlanta chapter, and she was just a pleasure and a joy to have speaking with us during that networking session. And so I had to reach out and have her come on the show, and she was just so willing, and I just love her already. So let me tell you all a little bit about Kayla Life. So Kayla is a transformational leadership coach. She's an entrepreneur. She does nonprofit program development, event planning, brand strategies, and much more. She's also an educator. She's a Spelman graduate. And I'm telling you, this queen has so many layers to her, but I can show you better than I can tell you. Let's take a look.
Kayla Life, and I'm the founder of Rebrand and co-founder of KKSQ Tech Creative Corporation.
Hello, I'm Shoshana Cabral. I am the co-founder and executive director of KKSQ.
We're back at Carver High School, and I was the college advisor over 11th and 12th graders, and you did what again?
I was doing the college preparatory courses for 9th and 10th graders.
Yeah, and so one of our pushes was to get kids sent to college. That's what we were doing, but we reached a roadblock because kids were not filling out the college application, and their families couldn't help them fill out the college application.
Which was very frustrating.
Super frustrating.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do a whole bunch of different techniques. We were like, oh, let's have a family connection day. And, the families came out. We did this whole field day experience. But in order for the kids to participate, they had to actually fill out their college applications. But we really quickly realized that it wasn't that they didn't want to fill it out. It was that the technology was stressing them out.
Yes. Either they didn't have it, they didn't have a laptop at home, or they didn't have the data to run the internet, to run the application. It was a lot of issues, technologically wise.
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we really did, two-man team trying to figure out how we were getting all these kids to sign up for college, how we were going to get their families in to do FAFSA. But it was a struggle. It was hard. So, shortly after that, we decided to separate and leave each other. It's a touchy subject. But I went up to New York.
And I went to Boston and back to Atlanta again.
But we did separate and just kind of take this approach where you went to go learn all the things that you can learn. I went to go learn all the things that I can learn in different capacities of the nonprofit sector, which then led us into KKSQ.
Yeah. And so KKSQ's main objective and goal is to address the technology gap within the minority community.
Right.
According to Deutsche Bank, 76% of minorities don't have access to technology, don't know how to use it, don't know how to utilize it. And it's a big issue because, as you can see, the world is changing. And KKSQ's goal and main objective is to close that racial and technology gap in the minority community.
Yeah, and so, we put our brains together and figure out, what does our community need? How can we service our community in the best of ways, but how can we make it more accessible so that they feel as if they're welcome in the space, which is why we are opening the Rebrand Community Innovation Center.
Yes.
And the Innovation Center itself is a space where, we used to go to the library and chill with our friends, and all you need was a library card. You didn't need too much, right? But we had a blast, and I can remember all the memories that I made in the library as a kid. But now, libraries don't have what this generation needs to sustain, right? And that creates a bigger problem. But what we are attempting to do with the Community Innovation Center is bring in this idea that community is the driving force behind innovation. The only way that we can advance, the only way that we can make things happen is if the community gets involved and we empower them with those tools that they need to succeed, being technology.
Computer lab, where an interactive computer lab where we have it with all the advanced technology, is including virtual reality, because I don't want the our young people to be left behind. I tend to see that, yeah, we catch them up a little bit, but we don't give them the latest technology. And so we will ensure that is available at the Community Innovation Center. So we have virtual reality. We'll have a digital library.
Ooh, that's exciting.
In addition to all the resources that the center will provide, we will also have financial literacy programs, a business accelerator, and business incubator program as well, called the Elevated Entrepreneur.
We're focusing on building the community through innovation and empowering them to use technology as their strongest resource. So what we're needing right now is community engineers such as yourself that are unsung heroes of their community, have a program, have an idea. If this aligns with your vision, please reach out to us at rebrandinnovate.com. Schedule a meeting with us to become a community engineer and bring the Rebrand Land Community Innovation Center to your local neighborhood.
All right, you all. So now it is time to go ahead and bring on Kayla. Welcome, Kayla. We're so happy to have you today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so I want to go ahead and get started by having you give us a little bit more in depth about who you are and what your mission is.
Of course, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here and having me on. I'm very excited to share with you who I am, what I do. For those that are watching, my name is Kayla Life. I'm the founder and CEO of Rebrand Land, home of the main character, where we teach you how to be the center of your story. Listen, all of my main characters are giants. That's what we call them. They're visionaries and legacy builders that need to know exactly how to move their legacies forward to build sustainable businesses. So that's where I come into play. I am a vision implementer. I'm going to show you how to take that vision and put it into life so that it is community focused and centered and spirit led. So everyone that exists here in Rebrand Land, from our executives to our giants and main characters that live here, are all on one sole focus: to impact the community at greater heights. That is my for-profit business. Rebrand Land also has an extension, which is called KKSQ, Tech Creative Corporation, where we are focused on reinventing pathways to entrepreneurship through technology. I actually am a fractional chief technology officer, or CTO, and my passion is really closing that divide in the racial technology gap, showing our people how to use technology, be comfortable with it, and educate themselves in the advancement. We cannot get left behind in this digital era. Okay. And so that is a baseline of what I do. I do a lot of different things. I have a number of different hats. The joint project that you guys just witnessed and saw is called the Rebrand Land Innovation Center, but specifically the Community Innovation Center. We believe that innovation happens when the community comes together and identifies what the problem is and works together to solve it. So we envision the Rebrand Land Community Innovation Center to be something very much so similar to how it felt back in the day when we went to the library and you could just grab yourself a library card and chill there with your friends and, have a good time. You're picking up a book, and now the library has computers, so you're engaging with that too. But let's be real, no one's going to the library anymore. Right. And we're losing that sense of what it feels like to be around the next person and the community. Well, the Rebrand Land Innovation Center is going to change that. Wow. We plan to put a Community Innovation Center in every local hood you can think of. So if you're looking at a rundown building somewhere next to where you live, we're probably going to have an innovation center there. Wow. Because the more we empower the community and basically implement and infuse this technology into their everyday lives, it doesn't feel so scary anymore. It just feels like a part of their everyday. And so that is the vision that we have. That Community Innovation Center is going to have a number of different things. But what I'm most excited about is just this idea that the community can come in and use up-to-date technology and have someone that is passionate about helping them learn and engage and will not turn them away if they don't know how to access or use certain things. Imagine coming to a space and getting everything you need, and it's someone that looks just like you, right? And it's going to take that love that you need and say, hey, I know you don't know how to send an email. Let me sit down and do it with you, right? I know you're not really sure what a resume is, or you've never even heard of LinkedIn. Let me talk you and walk you through it. So it is a community project. We've got a number of different nonprofits that are feeding into this project as well. So they're doing pushing. And then we have community engineers. These are people that are similar to our main characters here that are giants in their own community. And they say, hey, I want to help bring this to life as well. So they're giving us their expertise. They're running workshops. They're doing focus groups. They're doing whatever it needs to take to show that our local government and everyone that is impacted by this is something that we deserve. So yeah, that is a little overview of what I do and how we get things done in this realm. But very much so community focused. I'm passionate about tech. I'm passionate about the community. I was a former educator. So I like to say educator within walls because I'm still an educator now. I just don't exist inside a school system. My last hoorah, I would say, as a teacher was in Brooklyn, New York, where I created my own technology curriculum for 5th through 8th graders with an honors track. I've spent that was about to be wrong. I spent 6 years on that curriculum. And at the end of that, our kids were coming out of there with coding certifications. They're going into these high-tech high schools. They're just changing the world. And so that was my last hoorah as educator. I'm like, yep, now that I know that I can do this thing, I can now do it at a grander scale. And so this is what my life as an entrepreneur looks like. I'm bringing in other nonprofits, other community leaders, going into other organizations, showing them how to make this structure happen and infuse technology into their everyday.
Wow. First of all, I'm blown away by your ability to use your passion, your gifts, your heart for young people. What you're doing is so powerful. And like you said, that representation is missing. And so I really love that you have a heart for young people because that's my mission as well with my channel and with my business. So there are a lot of diamonds in the rough who have all this potential and they're like, I have a dream, I have a vision. There's so many amazing things I see myself doing, but I don't have the connections. I don't have the resources. Nobody really knows how to groom me, to prepare me to get my vision out there. And that's what they need. And that's what you're doing. I'm all about making sure that they have a platform that gives them spotlight. And so through my channel and my podcast, I want to build it up where I can have young people come on here and talk about the amazing things that they're doing and hopefully get them more out there. And then with your program and what you're doing, they're going to get built up even more. Trust me, I'm sticking beside you, okay? I'm sticking beside you because I see the vision. And I just want to say thank you so much for letting us know your true heart and your true mission, because I think that a lot of people can relate to the need for what you're doing. How did you get to the point where you were able to really build this platform, and what led you to do so?
So actually, one of my favorite stories is to tell you how to get this got started. So, like I said, before I started becoming an entrepreneur and, decided on this road of ownership and I wanted to be the founder, that's my big push here. I don't want to be just a CEO of anything. I just want to have founded it, make sure it's sustainable and go build something else because it's a lot of vision that lives inside this brain. But more importantly, I know that the way that spirit downloads things into me is all a part of a greater plan, right? So what you're seeing right now is the greater plan of downloads that have happened to me as a child, right? I can think back when I was younger, and I actually just told this story not too long ago. I've always been in the branding and marketing space. When I was younger, my name changed. My mom got married and I took on my father's last name, right? And so my classmates at the time addressed me as my old last name. Well, I had to come out and show them that that's not my last name no more. And this is what needs to happen. I'm in the 5th grade. So what do? I run for student government.
Wow.
And my slogan, my last name is Life now. My slogan at the time was, you need a lifesaver.
What?
And I passed out the strawberry cream. Now, come on now, think back. Them strawberry cream lifesavers was hit back in the day. I passed them out to the crowd. I'm throwing them out. And I won, naturally.
Wow.
Won. But that was, I thought back to that occasion. I'm like, wow, everything that I'm doing right now, it feels like, oh my God, it's brand new, but it's always been innately inside of me, which really does speak to this idea of being the main character and where it came from. This was actually not my first business. My first business was t-shirt printing. So shout out to everyone that has a Candor Expression tee that's vintage, is no longer in existence. We don't do that anymore. But one of the things I forgot to mention at the beginning is that I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with ADHD at 26. However, I've had ADHD all my life. When I started to learn more about what ADHD meant to me and how I functioned with that, I realized is that I hyperfixated on technology. right? And so my dad was in IT in the Navy. He would come home with these big giant computers. He would break it down, show me each of the parts. And I just became so enthralled with what technology was that every time new technology came out, it kept my pace. I didn't lose interest. Now with t-shirt printing, that was a whole nother idea, right? Because if you know anything about ADHD, we tend to just really focus on one thing for a very short period of time. And once we master that skill, it's over with. So in my t-shirt printing business, that's exactly what happened. I wanted to start wearing my own designs. It was an outlet of creativity for me. I was a teacher in the pandemic. I was bored. I had to do something. So I figured out how to start the business, which was a struggle. We'll get into, why that became to be. But as soon as I figured out how to do it, I just started going. Started putting it out, started getting orders. I'm like, oh my God, this is booming. I'm like carrying boxes of t-shirts to go deliver. And it's amazing. People wear my designs. But now the orders are speeding up and I'm exhausted. I do not want to do it anymore. I'm losing excitement about it. And I think after my last order of like 40 shirts, and it's just me in there pressing shirts, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, right? When I first started my t-shirt printing business, I don't have anyone in my family that is an entrepreneur that just knew how to do this thing, right? I couldn't just call, someone and say, hey, I want to start a t-shirt printing business. What do I do? I had called my mama and I told her what I wanted to do. And she's like, I'm not sure, but I know somebody that presses t-shirts. And now it's just like this network connection of like who does what, right? And then on the flip side of it, because I'm a tech head, I'm like, let me just do some research. Well, you hop online and you're trying to research a thing, it's not there, you can't find it, or you find someone that's a coach or something of that nature, and they want you to pay like 5 racks out the door. So the idea of where Rebrand Land came into be was that, one, we need more support as minority entrepreneurs with getting our business started. It should not be this hard, right? And now I run a whole agency. There's 20 people that work here.
Wow.
It is greatly expanded, but even that mindset, where is the support, right? So I can think back to other individuals that I was, worked at the school with, and, that, oh yeah, my dad owns this, and, but they're Jewish. And, oh yeah, my cousin has this, but, they're Asian. And I'm like, what? We don't have that same kind of resource in our direct lines of defense. So how do I fix it? If you learn anything about me, you will know I am a see a need, meet the need kind of person. This is why technology came to the school that I was working in, because there was no tech program before I got there. And this is why Rebrand Land has come to be. I am the individual that said, all right, we need to fix this. How do we fix it? Right? I realized that I wanted to be able to provide resources to our community that they did not have to pay for. So literally everything that I could find online, I put into a directory. So if you head to our nonprofit's website, this is how it's expanded. If you head to our nonprofit's website, we have a resource hub with over 250 resources on how to start your business. Any kind of business you can think of, and a space where you can request that someone find the information for you. I want to know how to break into the gaming industry. Well, we had to do research on that. And now it's on our website as a step-by-step guide on how to break into gaming.
Wow.
Right? So we are constantly updating that hub. It's a piece of our virtual option that we offer. But then moving into now, okay, yes, we got the information, but how do we sustain? Because I don't want to just build a business that I'm going to die with and there's nothing else that happens. As soon as something, happens to me, there's no more Rebrand Land. That doesn't make any sense to me, which is why Rebrand Land is the way it is right now. This idea of the main character is that you are the center of your story. And no matter how many stories you play a part in, your story still exists. Right? So no longer hiding behind the shadows and being somebody else's supporting character. How are you going to support your own life and your own pathway? So we like to provide you with a full team for your project, however it looks. We start off with a strategy phase that looks like you sit down with me for at least 3 sessions, but we have executives here that are the tops in their field that are going to be hands-on with your project. Wow. We have marketing, we have production, we have design, we have the strategy individuals. We're bringing on influencer marketing as well. All of this with the idea that you can sustain your business. And now adding that piece of financial literacy, because you get to talk to our CFO executive, you learn about accounting, you learn about taxes, all of that, which I didn't know when I was just printing t-shirts. I didn't know if someone had to track the money that I was making, right? I needed to make sure, and so I wanted to make sure that everything that my clients got or get right now they don't have to search for like I did. Everyone that works in this organization, with the exception of my new executives, I've used their services.
Wow.
We bartered together. We figured out how we were going to work together. And so now Rebrand Land has become this machine that is just pushing out community project after community project, helping people's vision come to life and sustaining.
Yeah.
We provide our clients with a 3 to 5 year strategic plan that includes a business plan, an investor pitch deck, accounting services. It includes a marketing plan. You get your website done, because we are of the belief that we can do great designs, that you can see from my background here,
Right.
but it means nothing if you don't have a strategy in place. It's just going to fall on deaf ears. It's going to look pretty.
Wow.
So that is how I kind of jumped full force into this, realizing that we just need better support. KKSQ is that extension of, Rebrand Land. I'm not going to hold you. We kind of pricey. We're pricey because we believe in long-term partnership. We are working with individuals that, don't think you're going to come here and get a one-off design. It's not how it happens. We have some main characters that have been here for the past 3 years since we got started, and some that have signed on with 5-year contracts. Like, that is how deep their vision goes, because they understand they need a team that's dedicated to support them and hold them accountable. Wow. That's what we provide here. So we realize that, that might be a little expensive for someone that's just starting off, but we don't want to turn people away. Mm-hmm. So we separated into KKSQ, where now, if you don't have the finances and or the mindset yet, maybe you're just in this phase of, I think I want to start a business, but I'm not really sure what it looks like for me. But if you're on the side of, I think this is where I want to go, I'm not really sure, I need some more support, just need some more help, then you get pushed over to the KKSQ side, where they help you for 16 weeks, brand, market, change your mindset, fix whatever needs to be fixed. You go through a business accelerator. At the end of that program, you get to pitch your idea to community investors. So individuals right here in our local community that are making things happen, those investors are going to give you either mentorship or sponsorship. Either they're going to say, hey, I like what you're doing, come with me, let me show you some things. Or, hey, I like what you're doing, let me just invest in what you got going on. Let me just show you that I care. Right? And then on top of that, we are in partnerships to give our participants a $20K grant to get their business started. And what that looks like is you still have support in that nature, right? So once you get that 20K grant, wow, I know everyone would love to have it just drop into their little Chase account. We give you a list of preferred vendors that says, hey, if you need branding, here you go. If you need to do accounting, here you go. Mm-hmm. These are the people that we know are vetted, that are going to get the project done and are not going to waste your time. Mm-hmm. And so that is how I kind of merge my philanthropic heart with the need to still make sure things happen on this side. But yeah, that's how I kind of jumped full force into it. I realized that while this is my baby, this is my brain baby, I also am a human being. Rebrand Land stands on its own, right? And this idea of founder, I don't necessarily want to be the one that's always seen as this person, right? So I broke myself off from it, have been training this phenomenal team so that Rebrand Land can exist on its own. It is a legacy that will thrive past me, beyond me. Wow. Individuals here that are working their butts off to make sure things happen for not only our clients, but themselves. My executives in our business model are allowed to have, own, and operate their own business while working here. Wow. The idea is that Rebrand Land only advances if your legacy advances. That's for the executive side and for the client side. So if we're the only ones getting certifications and, PR and press, but our clients are not getting it and our executives are not getting it, then we're just perpetuating this cycle of what business used to be. Right? Yeah. We lead with love first here. We want to make sure that you understand that our heart is in your project just as much as your heart is in it. Wow. So if I'm sitting here and I'm not seeing something happen with the client project, I'm like, what's going on? I am just as flipped out as I would if Rebrand Land stuff was not moving, because we can't help them if we don't help ourselves. And it's the same kind of concept. So I'm very proud of what we built here. There's a lot of accountability that happens on all sides, but there's also this idea of ownership. You get to own what you build here. And then you get to dip into a number of different people and build this amazing community. We have main characters that are working with each other to help their businesses grow. They are connecting with each other through our platform and saying, hey, I think that we can form a great partnership together. And that's what it's all about. It's all about how much we can advance our community from the inside out.
Girl, that was incredible. It sounds to me like your company is a one-stop shop, literally a one-stop shop. And I love that you are offering everything that someone who's just coming into the game would need. And even someone who already has the vision down pat, you have the options where they can come in if they are just at the idea stage, or they can come in and say, boom, I'm ready to go. Let's take it to the next level. Everybody that they would need as far as resources, the tools that they would need, everything is just there. It's laid out. You know, I don't see why anyone wouldn't be interested in working with your company. The way you have it laid out is just, it sounds exceptional, honestly. And I also love that you're solution-based, because a lot of times we see businesses out here that don't last because they're focused on self, or they're focused on what's trending, or they're focused on, okay, let me do what looks hot right now. So they start selling certain fashion pieces. Not that I'm against, you know, clothing lines, because we all, you know what I'm saying? We all got to shop. But a lot of them are like, okay, selling the same type of creams and the same type of body stuff. And no shade to nobody, but it's just, it comes to a point where what is it that you're doing that is going to meet a need for someone? And that's what I had to realize even within myself, because in other business ventures that I've started, you know, it was more of an idea that wasn't truly meeting a need. It's where your passion is and how you can take who you are and build up someone else and serve. And so that is what I believe in as well. And I love that you said, as a young girl, you already had the gifts, but you didn't see a lot of people around you who were able to, you know, hand out the resources to you. You had to work for it. And now you are providing a platform where people can come to you and get those resources that you didn't have. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And I have a similar heart, because I also grew up doing leadership and student council and performing arts. And then as I got older into my later teenage years, I kind of strayed away from it because I didn't have the people that can tell me how to use those gifts and really, you know, really monetize on it and really benefit from it. It just, you know, kind of faded for a little while, and I had to rebuild myself back up in a sense. But that's where also my faith came in, because for me, the more I grew closer to God, the more I saw myself the way He originally intended me to be. And so that's why my platform is shifting to where I can focus on God's design for me. And it's clear that you're operating in that as well, in your purpose.
Definitely. So funny enough, we just signed a church. We signed a church unto Rebrand. And it was such a clear vision for me when Spirit led me to say, yes, let's go ahead and get this church what they need. It's one of those things that we define rebranding as not changing yourself, but unlocking who was always meant to be, right? There are people and things that have happened that led you to where you are today. But someone was afraid of it and told you that you are not worth what that person is to be.
Come on.
Coward. You put yourself to the back burner. You became someone else's supporting character. And I disrupt that whole narrative. Right? I don't agree with people's boxes.
I love that.
My main characters here, you know, you're a giant trying to fit into someone else's cave. You don't fit. So don't fit, right? Do something else. Create something else. And so I know that my God gift is to create spaces for people to thrive, because that's the passion He gave to me. I've been able to strategize and move people in different directions, but I'm also willing to fight the hard fight, right? Like, I'm willing to look someone in their face and say, it's not gonna work. I'm willing to look someone in their face and say, no, we're going to do this thing, right? You don't get it, but let me explain it to you so that you're going to get it, right? I'm willing to do that for my clients and for myself and for my team, because I understand what it feels to not have someone in your corner, to be as phenomenal as you are. The individual that I am today, as far as how much I, innovate and create and make things, I've always been that girl. I've always been that girl. But it wasn't until I started this that I realized I never had the support that I needed for someone to cultivate and nurture that inside of me. Right? For someone to say, you know what, you're talented, let's structure it. Thank God that he gave me the mind that I have to be able to do enough of that for myself and my own work, right? But now it can't live with me. It has to be placed in other places. And so this is another thing that I'm going to put out to anyone watching this. Please write it down. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it doesn't make any sense. I don't care if it just came to you. It is a download from the Spirit. And even if it doesn't make sense now, it will make sense later. I'm going to promise you that. There's so many things right now as I built this agency, and now there's 20 people working here. When at one time it was just me. Wow. I'm training these people, and I'm like, how am I gonna? Oh wait, I wrote it down somewhere. I wrote it down. I can just go grab it and give it to them, and they can use it. Because I followed what Spirit told me to do. So understand that, yes, faith without works is dead. But do not get so lost in the work that you forget to have faith.
That's good. I was going to ask you to leave the people with a word of encouragement, and you already did that. You have just blown me away. But I love that you told them to make sure to write it down, because a lot of times God will show us something and it may not be for that particular time. He may give you a vision a couple years before it's time to really work on it. We have to trust the process, because there may be something in us that he needs to continue to build and work on before we see the vision come to pass. But it doesn't mean that he won't do it. And so like you said, that's where that faith has to come in. And I love that you are encouraging people to write down the visions, because you never know how each piece is going to line up in the future. And you may need to refer back to that idea. You'll be surprised what God had already showed you. I love that. You have just been so amazing today. And I know that someone has been truly inspired and blessed by today's episode. Can you let the people know where to find you?
Absolutely. So if you're interested in Rebrand Land and its services, we are Rebrand Land on all channels. Wherever you type in Rebrand Land, we're going to pop up. Our SEO is also pretty popping. So if you just Google it, we're going to pop up too.
Okay.
If you are looking for me specifically, you want to have a specific conversation with me, I am the real Kayla Life on each channel. My website, however, is thekaylalife.com. So if you want to get in contact with me, you want to just talk to me about something, you're interested in receiving coaching services, I do transformational leadership coaching. However, I do also help neurodiverse entrepreneurs structure their ideas. So if you are in that neurodiverse field, you have ADHD, you have autism, you have anything that is I don't want to say disabling you, because a disability does not affect your ability to learn, to thrive, be successful. However, we all need structure, and I know how to do it. So if you need my help with that, I'm going to show you how to use it and show you how to use technology to your power.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kayla. It has been such a pleasure to have you today. I'm honored that you came on with me, honestly. I know that there are going to be some people who are going to reach out to you, whether now or in the future, because this video is going places, okay? Yeah. And I believe that your brand is going to do numbers that are bigger than you expect, because your heart is in the right place. I truly believe in the vision, and I have a similar passion. So I really want to stay in touch with you. I already feel like I can just relate to your spirit, and you just have such a warmness about you. And I just want to thank God for you and honor you, honestly, in today's episode. Thank you again.
I received that. Thank you.
All right, you all. So we have made it to the end of this episode. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Feel free to share this video with someone, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for future episodes. Thank you all so much for sticking around. I'll see you all next time.